And well, things are about to get pretty juicy. I'm super excited to see if Fate have something up their sleeve, you know, because obviously when you come into this matchup, you think that Nemiga could potentially make it very one-sided. And if you look at the games from yesterday, Group E, that was a complete shutdown. You know, it was a very one-sided affair, and I'm hoping that these stacked teams can make something different happen.
Ooh, back to Group B though, because Lollipop and Lear, all of them start to join in with the kills. Just the 1-on-2 remaining in favor of Nemiga Gaming. If you look at Patrick right now, he's going to go for this pursuit. The bomb will go down. It should be a simple plant for Nemiga. Utility lacking in that way, but that means Patrick has some space to work with. Some damage to be dealt here. Oh, that's going to be a simple first kill onto Lear, but that just reveals Brilliance's position. And Nemiga run away with first blood.
It's actually crazy that it even got down to only one member remaining on the Nemiga squad, especially with how dominant their entries were around mid. You know, they took full brackets control. They were able to shut everything down. The only player that could even have a say in the matter was a player around Arches, and even that was only good for one kill. So Fate, they did a pretty good job of keeping things close, but did they actually have two members alive in the previous round? I think one just had very little HP, and I thought he passed away.
No, but I think the second player was around 60 points of health, something like that. But still, yeah, I understand why the confusion may have come through. But early aggression from Fate, and considering they've got lesser weapons to work with, quite an important pick.
Yeah, and they've actually gotten the bomb down at the edge of Banana, so perhaps that could have led to a bit more info if Nemiga hadn't taken control of Banana. So good job from them, managing to nestle themselves into the top end of Banana. And Fate, they want to reroute their efforts based on the information that'll be brought through from the flank. Raftu, he's got such a massive task ahead of himself right now, because not only does he have to get the info, he needs to do it fast. One kill connected, and now he's a thorn in their back.
Now Brilliance has made his way onto the site. The bomb plant should be simple, but as you say, thorns can come out of anywhere. Stepping on them can do some damage, but it's mostly due to the fact that it's kind of like an obfuscation. In a sense, Lollipop does deliver in his end. 3 against 2 already, so Nemiga are converting. Crisis has been averted. Fate need to back away, save those weapons, because this round is going to the side of the Belarusians.
They've still managed to save a Galil, and Hybrid has a UMP, so although the next round isn't going to be the best in the world, they can still hope to claw an eyeball out or two, maybe get a scratch in at best. But you know what I'm really worried about, Pavlos? I do not want this to be a one-sided affair. We've seen it time and time again in between teams, especially in a tournament like this where teams can be of many different calibers. You know, you're looking at some teams that aren't even on HLTD, and then some that are in the tier 2 scene, a team that has beaten Fiend of all things. So with a mixed bag like that, results are very difficult to predict. Now, I don't want this thing to be one-sided, so I'm still holding a candle out. I'm hoping for the best from Fate.
Still early days, of course. I did play a game on Inferno the other day, but of course it was the 9-round iteration of it. So yeah, you can understand how much the CT side had a disadvantage in that regard. So it was a clean sweep as we started on the T side. I think the enemy just lost morale, losing, I believe, what was it? I don't know. I believe they only won one round the first half, but it was just too clean. Just too clean. But now we can see Nemiga Gaming moving in slowly, lining up some pieces of utility. This take should be simple. Of course, Fate stacking up most of their players towards the right side of the map, towards B. Wrong choice to be made. No lurk from Nemiga coming out so far. They're pretty comfortable taking this B site. It's just a matter of time until they start drawing in the utility. Nicky all by himself. There's nothing much this man can do. On the other side of the smokes, Nemiga Gaming make their way through. Mollies and smokes will give them some space. The boost does come out. Raftu, it's actually huge. 2 kills going to Raftu. Lear is able to bounce back, but maybe the damage has been done. 45 seconds with the numbers being punched in, but right now they need to be careful. On the lookout for the rotations. Lollipop delivers on his end, but Nikongo has to fall. Patrick quick to retaliate, but now it's a 2v3. Lollipop holding his angle with Lear on top as the rest of Fate try to walk in.
It's actually a man disadvantage for them in Fate. Perhaps they can get something done. Flashbang is perfect. Patrick gets one. Lear, last man standing. He's trying to line up the shots, but he's going to be overpowered by the Desert Eagle. Nemiga They're going to end up losing out a round to Fate, who only had a Galil and something in the form of a UMP to work with. So Pavlos, where I was talking about getting potentially only some damage done, Raftu's ability to quickly reposition on top of the potted plant allows him to get 2 frags. That allows him to very easily have a massive impact. And I think Patrick going for a second deuce, that was entirely unanticipated, because if you look at Nemiga's perspective, they're actually expecting for them to wait for the smoke to dissipate. No, they actually end up boosting as the smokes are being extinguished.
I think that's kind of the proactiveness you expect from like a tier 2 roster, right? You don't really expect someone that hasn't quite been in that level to go for that proactiveness and go for the boost that instant. So Nemiga Gaming got caught off guard, maybe underestimating their opponents, but now they need to be careful because contact is approaching. Patrick delivers double kill, instantly having impact in the round. And just like that, he just completely destroys the attack. Nemiga Gaming left with 3, but they keep on going. The flash is out, Box delivers, Brilliance doubles it up, and maybe that's the chance to contain the B site. Smoke will be thrown towards CT, but the bomb needs some time until he gets to the site.
Fate. One of their members has done a massive task at holding things down. Once again, they're gonna pull out one more trick that they've used all too many times before. Nikki takes a sweet time before he commits, but why are they not checking this angle, Pavlos? They've lost half of the Lollipop's HP, and this barrage of nades doesn't make things any easier. Flashbangs to commence. Shake coming through with an AWP. Now they've got 2 angles to work with, 13 and 12 points of health respectively, and not a chance that they survive for more than a few seconds here. Box.
A lot of faith onto Box right now. 1 on 3. Little by little, the swing comes out, but Raftu is there to stop him. Fate, they found the closer, 2 on 2. And you thought this game would not be exciting. You maybe thought Nemiga Gaming had a one way to victory. Well, think again, it's a best of 1, and they know everything is on the line here.
Man, I love how confident Patrick felt in that position. You know, it didn't feel like he's playing up against players that are supposed to be better on paper. No, not at all. He's spraying them down like he's playing a matchmaking game. And that, of course, pushes Nemiga back onto pistols. Fate trying to bully the opposition here. Only got pencils to fight back with. Fate, they're the big bully with a metal ruler. Man, those hurt as a kid.
Oh, it sounds like you're bringing out childhood trauma right now. I feel sorry for you, mate. I mean, we've all been there, right? Middle school hasn't been the best for me either. I think that's been the case for most middle schoolers. Whoa, but look at the push. I think you have to give attention to this, because right now it seems like Nemiga Gaming are winning out on the trades, and it shouldn't be the case. Scratch that. Raftu delivers with 2, make that 3 before he ends up falling. The site has been taken over. The smokes is the only thing between themselves and Fate. Shake close by. Lear spots him out, and all of a sudden Nemiga Gaming have brought things to a topsy-turvy state. The bomb being planted, and with 2 left on Fate, with weapons recollected by Nemiga, this is doable.
They've got no utility as well to try to pivot themselves onto the bomb site. They need to time this perfectly, and they've got a chance at isolating Lear. That's exactly what happens. Box, though, last man standing, stuck in the apartments. He needs to find an individual duel before it starts becoming problematic. Taps the bomb. That's the position being relayed. No chance that he can peek into them comfortably, and the Molotov doesn't make things any easier. Box is being stuck. Oh, I love how he's weaving in and out of battle. He couldn't just get it, but he dies to the flames. Fate, they can manage to do it off of just a couple of flames.
How does that even happen? When Nemiga Gaming gained the advantage when it just comes to down pistols, you thought they had a chance coming down to a 2-on-2 for the clutch. And then it was the flames to end the final member's life. You can't do that to us. And Rafter the 3-piece, it was so darn clean. But Hybrid's approach just was untouched. Nemiga Gaming finding their way closer to the game, but without the round going in their pocket. Fate do gain the advantage. Aggressive at the start, but Patrick gets himself the return.
And I am super impressed by Fate right now. Their ability to use utility, just have a very good coordination individually among their teammates. They've done it time and time again, and you can see it playing out once again in another round, Pavlos.
Just like that, again,
How are
Fate find their
so
way
well
in front.
prepared?
They're looking strong. I think they knew that their chance to show themselves worthy with this new roster is this tournament right here. And Nemiga Gaming, they're caught with their pants down. Ooh, that's some damage to take if you're Patrick. It's got reinforcements, of course, and with the call being made that they're approaching, reinforcements for Shake are incoming, impending. Hybrid hasn't quite shown his card just yet, but the timing might be immaculate, and he ends up falling. And MDS close by, Patrick falls all by himself. The Belarusian with a dream in his pocket. Hybrid on the other side, he's juggling this perfectly. The swing comes out, Fade, they're toying with him.
Man, their timing is impeccable. And normally you wouldn't expect Fate to take so much initiative when it comes to these individual battles. Consistently on Banana, they've been able to equip the player that is positioned on sandbags with just enough utility being deployed by the site player that he never has problems taking duels. There is so much trust within these teammates that you can see it reflected in their duels. It reflected in the confidence that is being exhibited in these duels. Once again, Nemiga pushed back into their chairs. Back to pistols. A little bit of utility. Couple of flashbangs. Time to sharpen those good old pencils once again. Although it did get pretty close when they had Tech 9s last time, Pavlos.
It really did. It really did. They were basically an inch away from getting the clutch, but it was just some flames and timing to stand up against him in that regard after the swing right before him. It is going to be a trade in the end, so the MP9 has been eliminated. Smoke through, but they do not care. Pushing right past it. Shake does find the first shot, fails for the second. Pressure on that flank, but right now, due to Patrick's kill, things are a lot more easier. Holding the archway in his favor. MDS all by himself. The bomb out of his hands. Hybrid will just hold that line, and Fate have composed.
Once again, you see Nemiga buying up with all they've got. They've got a few, they've got as much utility as they'd like, but Fate's dominance in economy, it's not something you really expect out of them this early on. At least you would expect the rounds to be a bit back and forth, and truthfully, they are to some degree, but Shake being able to build up 7,000 and other teammates nearly following suit, this is very indicative of a dominant performance, I say that, and Nemiga are starting to put the pressure.
But to be honest, Nemiga's pushes onto Banana have been shaky at best, right? It's not like they're respecting Fates' positioning when it comes to these early duels, and that has costed them greatly. Now, with a little bit more respect, they spend a lot more utility to gain this access, but Nikki close by could catch them off guard. This is quite unorthodox, and it seems to have caught them. No, MDS does win out on that trade, which means Hybrid is left all by himself. Shake is coming in as the assist, but right now Nemiga, their plan is set. They may have Lollipop stacked towards the A site, but other than that, they can just play time, try and play with information, and they may find the advantage towards B.
Making their way on to B. Hybrid is just too good on that AK-47. He's made things palatable for Shake, and he's got information. He's got eyes on both of these members. Nearly spots ahead, but Lollipop was really toying with him there, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. But who can blame him, right? I mean, they were toying in with him a couple of rounds ago. But yeah, Inferno's not disappointing at all, right? I mean, Nemiga Gaming, they find themselves back into the game, so it's not Fate completely dismantling. But MDS's start there was just impeccable, right? Look at that, slowly peeking out. Even though Hybrid did a stellar job of holding things out, the coordination with a 1-2 stack from Nemiga was just crispy clean. They managed to come out on top with the numbers.
Two rounds in between them for the equalizer. But Nemiga, so far, they've looked incredibly shaky. They keep going for these bread and butter setups towards Banana, but they've never actually mollied out sandbags, okay? Is there a flashbang ready? Oh no, Patrick just mistimed it horribly. And I think Nemiga have caught wind of this. They immediately want to move on to the B bomb site because they think they might have cleared it out entirely, but that's not the case. Hybrid, he wants to stick it out for the long run and make sure that he can wait as long as he can to get as much information as he will. Shake taking his sweet time on the reinforcements as well. See if he's going to be caught
thing
off
is-
guard. I love their communication here.
I really do as well, but the thing is that they've killed 2 people and they're not quite sure if there's a third one lying in sight. Lear holds his ground. Hybra's position yet to be compromised now without smoke. He's definitely shown that someone lying within it, giving away a potential card that he could have used. No, knowing that position. Good headshot for the first. Has to deal with another 2 lollipop right in front of him, Hybrid.
No.
You're toying with him. MDS all by himself. What can you do? Quick reaction timing, but Hybrid is there to convert. Fate, they get themselves on a 6th round.
That was nearly meant to be a guaranteed round for Nemiga. They should have been able to get onto the B bomb site very early, just use a smoke, instead of waiting for the rotations to come in to try to kill the Opper. No, they should have been on the B bomb site. They should have deployed utility early on, make sure that Hybrid's not there. But I do really respect how Hybrid played it. You know, he realizes that 2 members being missing from his squad on the B site, of course, will reel them in. They're going to think there's not anybody remaining, and after the AWP gets killed off, then they have even more assurance that Hybrid is not there. But, you know, with that smoke being deployed, I really did expect Nemiga to respond better, but see if they can make something happen with the pistols.
Generally, Nemiga's been coming up against a lot of blockades, if you will. Pillars in the road. It's just been frustrating all the way. Fate, they found answers to most of their pushes, and now they're not making this eco round very easy, are they? I mean, obviously, not much of an investment on the Belarusian side, but Fate, as the Bulgarian representative, is doing a stellar job of holding things down. But apartments control from MDS does mean he does collect an MP9 for his troubles. But if he can convert that into further pressure, that's what he needs. Assistance from Brilliance to arrive. There's well close by.
Nice nade.
Really trying to make it through. Ooh, Raftu, he spotted them out. Brilliance wins on out. His trade, the only AK-47 in the squad, does play dividend now. Lear does gain ground towards the side. That's where the bomb can go down. Raftu overwhelmed from the flank. Nemiga Gaming, they've got control of A.
That flash being a couple seconds earlier would have completely changed the outcome of that duel. And now Hybrid and Patrick, they're considering, not quite. They'll talk themselves into the comfort of the T-spawn. You know, they make a nice little bed, have a cute little mattress, have a blanket. Although I don't think anybody would want a blanket in Inferno. I think it's pretty sunny out. I kind of want them to look directly up for a second.
Oh, to look at the sun?
Is that
yeah,
where?
that'd be nice.
Yeah, is that where players go when they save? Or do they just wait the night out? Is that what a respawn really is?
Those questions are just on a different level. So
That's
I'm just
also
say
how they managed to repair a bomb
Savior
site.
can answer those.
Well, it's crazy how Fate can do a lot with little resources, and they're really good at fending off those gun rounds. But when Nemiga pulls out the pistols, Fate are unsure of what to do against unorthodox game plans. And I think speed might have been the big difference maker for Nemiga. I feel like getting onto bomb sites earlier might be one of the big difference makers if they decide to do it now. Even in some of the previous rounds, not getting to a bomb site fast enough was the problem.
Peekaboo.
A lollipop gets punished by the MP9. Yeah, no chance. Doesn't survive. And Nemiga, now they reroute their efforts towards B.
Oh, that's got to hurt. Nemiga had an advantage there when it comes to weaponry. And now they need to be scared of their lives because they've lost entire mid control. Nicky does fall back from it in the end, but Nemiga Gaming, with no knowledge of that, need to methodically retake that control. That flank is ever so important for them if they do opt for the banana push, but due to those earlier circumstances, conversion back to the A bomb site is what this looks like. And MDS making their way towards apartments. Fate, what a good job so far.
Yeah, I look at how they're not even budging. They're confident that this 2 and 3 setup is going to work because it has so far. No chance they're going to let them onto a bomb site. They've got adequate utility. Hybrid's got a Molotov for B. So they don't really need to be very proactive at all. But in they go. Shake will be the first man to connect. Doesn't quite connect his shots, but Raftu is still tucked into the corner. Do they check it is the big question. Gets one head, looking for more action, and the reinforcements, they've already arrived. Before he can even get checked, Raftu's done so much damage, but look at Box. He's quickly made it a 2 versus 1 hybrid, looking very proactive with taking these duels. It's just Box remaining in a 1 versus 1. Has to defend the bomb, and Box gets away with a 3K that saves the round for Nemiga.
How does Box even do that? That is not legal. Box, what on earth? Fate, they had the advantage, but with Box holding off, both holding off Arch and Library, the controlled spray onto 2 players there was just everything. You have to give credit for Fate for the early mid aggression, for them holding their ground towards the site, for after getting that 2-piece, but look at Box.
It wasn't
the way
even
he
a,
salvages
it wasn't even a headshot. I thought that Fate would be able to recover simply because of the low HP on the last Nemiga member, but that's not the case at all. And Fate, they have to play a pistol round of their own. And where we initially thought that Fate was starting to run away with it, Nemiga, bringing it to 6 rounds on the terrorist side, they've already proven that they can make it equal. And if they can do it on the T side out of all things, that will end up giving them the advantage as the game goes on.
Well, this is becoming a very close game, isn't it, for us?
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a matter of who takes it to the next step now. 6-6, anyone's game, really. The equalizer found now by Nemiga, courtesy of Box. They need to consider their actions carefully. They've had a good advantage before. But now sticking ahead on the CT side is of vital importance. This map could mean heading to the upper bracket of their own group. Considering Headhunters and Budapest 5 are on the other side of that bracket, they want to make sure that's going well. Lir, he was looking away in case of a flash, but he ends up dying because of Hybrid. Quickly, Nemiga Gaming finding themselves on the back foot as Fate gain control.
Nemiga, they have their players spread across the sites. But Shake made quick work of Lollipop. Now, it's crazy how Nemiga can have these bouts of individual brilliance and then suddenly everything falls apart. What's going on here, Pavlos?
It's hard to say, really. But I'm just trying to see if MDS can run away with anything extra here. Audio Q, not quite sure. Been given over. I think Shake did spot him out in the end there, but Fate, that's the 7th.
If Fate can get to 9 rounds, then I would be very confident that they're not going to drop the ball on the terrorist side. But right now, we've only actually seen Fate CT side. I haven't seen them play the T side just yet, so maybe they're better at playing in passivity. Maybe they're just better at communicating, at holding the angles. It's something that will reveal itself as the game goes on.
Early steps of aggression for Fate, potential to push, but it's Bananas what they're going for. Caught out with his gun, not into his hands, and therefore ends up dying. A Hybrid does manage to get a kill onto Brilliance, but it's an HG grenade to kill him off in the end. Confusing. In that regard, if you look at Lollipop, he's being busy over towards A. No, Rafu makes clean work of that. I think Nemiga's pushes are looking really messy right now for us. This does not look very much like Nemiga. And Fate, they're taking advantage of these bad plays. 8-6. They've guaranteed they'll be ahead at halftime.
But you know what? You might think that they're going to have a very easy round here, but no. We've seen how dangerous these pistols can be in Nemiga. They've done it time and time again. I believe they've gotten 2 rounds off of just having a Tech 9 buy, and I still do believe that they've got a chance of getting 7 rounds before this thing ends. But here we go. Last round, first half. Smoke to be deployed. I love how Shake just walks past him. Smooth criminal. It makes his way through. And Box, he's going to have to suffer for it. Shake nearly doesn't get punished, but eventually he will come in. getting greedy for the weapon, though. Lollipop will be shut down, and that only leaves MDS. AK in hand, has to deal with 3 players. And I said AK, but it's actually the infant AK. It's the Galil, which won't really be helping him out too much in getting that last round. 9-6.
Wow. Well, I'm sure not many of us expected this matchup so far. I am both impressed, confused, and wanting to see more, that's for sure, for us. That's just funny that Box was just able to pass by him like that.
Yeah. Well, heading into the pistol round, this is going to be indicative of how Fate is as a team. You know, I want to see if they're well-rounded on both sides of the spectrum.
Dualies. For us, we're looking at dualies. That is making me excited. Although Fate, I mean, you can see that they've done a lot of damage so far, and they're causing some havoc towards Brilliance. Down to 8 HP, and Lollipop also just under 60. Box in need of falling back up right now because the aggression is coming. Lollipop, no. 2 quick dinks, puts them back into the lead. Nick and Hybrid do manage to bounce back, but all of a sudden it's down to a 2-on-3.
They've got plenty of time to go for repositionings because Nemiga, they're not close to the bomb site just yet, and they get a 10-second head start. Hybrid, waiting for that smoke to fade. I think he spotted a head. That's another headshot. It's going to be so hard to fight against these Glocks. Brilliance gets 1, though. He only has to get 3 shots in if he could have landed the headshots, but it's simply not enough. Man, Brilliance not being taken out by the Glock headshot, that completely changed everything because he wouldn't have gotten the kill on the player in pit. Bit unfortunate, but Nemiga, they come out on top.
That was crazy by Lollipop, though. You know, those quick dinks onto 2 players. I think it was just 2 shots, 2 kills. As simple as that. I hope we get to see that again. Dink, dink. Oh, beautiful.
He wasn't even aiming for the member behind him.
I mean, it works. If it works, it works, right? And I guess Brilliance and MDS were there to deliver, to pick up the pieces, you know, where they left off. And Nemiga, that's the round they needed to close up this gap.
And then you're actually going to find Fate in a disadvantage. If Nemiga can line up a few rounds without losing too many players, I think I can start to see why they're the better team at the...
I want to see the replay of that, please.
Yeah.
I want to see the highlight because he wasn't aiming at him. He was moving
Lollipop
for us. He was moving.
At them even when he was on the pistol round. And he does it again.
Well, Lollipop with the ability to bend bullets.
Just focus real hard on them. Manifest the bullet going through your opponent's skull.
Oh, what childhood story was that? Matilda. Matilda, right? Did you know the story of Matilda?
Listen, man, I read it when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, but she could like move everything. Good kill for Brilliance. Good riddance of opposition. Nikongo puts that hand cannon to the test. Lit on by himself, but peeks out with 2 right up against them. That's an opportunity for Fate to get the bomb down. Spray down from Lollipop, trying to pick up the pieces. With the bomb down, that's the extra cash in the bag, but that's all she wrote that chapter. Nemiga Gaming, they managed to convert.
I want to see if this is going to be as one-sided for Nemiga on the CT side as it once looked for Fate in the early vestiges of the first half. Because the amount of control Fate had over Nemiga's mental was just nuts.
Yeah, we're going to see it again. Yeah, that's not where he was aiming at, man. It shouldn't have worked.
Love it.
I mean, it's been a couple of times.
Doesn't actually... Yeah, he just doesn't like aiming at them.
Oh, yeah, but it works, so I guess he makes good use of it. It's the reason why the M4A1S is so powerful, right? For us, definitely not because of the increased damage onto the body. It's 100% due to the ability of bending bullets. Lollipop again going for the tactic, but this time can't quite bend it onto Hybrid's head. Quickly does find his way into a position where Fate have an advantage on the buy round.
You're actually playing a much slower style of play than you anticipated, well, than what we witnessed from Nemiga. What Nemiga did on their C side is that they took early control of Banana, however as sloppy as it may have been. But Fate are willing to dedicate only a couple members on either side of the map, and then eventually turn it into the actual take. Now, with 50 seconds remaining, their eyes are set on A, but they've already conveyed a lot of information, and they've lost a player as well. Before they can even get onto a site, they only come down to 2, and man, that just ended way too quickly.
That's just clean. Nemiga Gaming, I think they're showing us who's boss, who's here to command things. Fate did have a chance with a buy round here, but it's just shut down its track. So I think you were right for us. Now that on the CT side, they may have a chance, but of course now me saying that completely dwindles their chances and hopes because I just cast a curse there. Unless I mentioned it, then things get put back on its head. But yeah, we will never find out how the mysterious ways of cast a cursing works.
We're just never clever enough to figure it out, but it's okay. Oof. Ooh. Ouchie.
It helps if you're looking at the right direction.
But
of course, with
when you get ready to iron your clothes and you kind of forget that you left the iron on earlier, and then you did a chicken just fall onto Patrick?
Oh, the chicken startled me. I was like, what was that?
You could see the chicken butt fly across the screen.
It's raining chickens.
Well.
Quick shot for MDS though. Patrick has to fall. So quickly, Nemiga have a stellar advantage in this. Fate, they have to fear for their lives a bit. Need to bring out some madness, some quick shots. Spray down a fart lollipop. He's not going to miss those any day. And Nemiga Gaming redeem themselves, finding the lead over their Bulgarian opposition.
You see Lollipop doing that, and then you can already see that he's not actually looking at the monitor. He's closed his eyes, he's visualizing playing on those maps which allow you to train your recoil. Wait, can we get the chicken replay? Is that possible? Oh no.
Oh no, I think we skipped it. Ooh. It's those funny things,
Maybe some other
matchup. You come here for the kills, you come here for like the good plays, you come here for pro play, but at the end of the day, what you get on Inferno is chickens falling right in front of your face.
Oh, Box wanted to pull the trigger there. I think he might have accidentally switched over too early. That could have been a free kill had he just fired the shot. But now Fate with the disadvantage. I want to see how far Nemiga can take it. Obviously, being the top dogs that they are, they have the potential to be as dominant on Inferno as well. And they're exhibiting it for now. And with very little money remaining for Fate after they get through with this round, it's going to be a fickle affair. But Lear is not showing the same kind of confidence as Fate did, but he can still manage to get away with a kill. Smoke lined up, just trying to find the right nook and cranny to nudge himself into it. But Fate have a lot of pressure. Okay, yeah.
And now it's down to 4-on-4. Now 3 have found their way towards the... No, 2 actually. I can only see the body of Lear on the minimap there. But 2 on their way on Nemiga's Gaming's case right now. Good positioning by Lollipop, a little bit deeper than anyone would expect from a rotating player. In they go, flash out. Raftu in there for assistance, but Lollipop is there to stop him. Hybrid with a quick back around. Brilliance is still on site though. Need to be wary of that spray down for him. That's going to be a 2-piece shake all by himself. AWP, he knows where he is, but needs to be careful. Misses out. And that is
nice
Box
shot.
falling. Not the intended target, but Brilliance. What
Ooh.
a kill! Shake, you were fully flashed and still gets the kill. And now it's down to 1. MDS, the time is of essence, and it's in his favor.
No.
Shake with a bomb at hand is where MDS will get the kill.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pumping my fist a little bit, go Shake, after he gets that kill through the flash. Man, that was wonderful stuff, but it's a bit unfortunate that MDS talked him into a grave right after.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting
really
such a play.
Yeah, not at
Because-
all. I wouldn't expect him to hit those shots.
Absolutely not. And I think I messed up my words in many of those occasions. I was like, yeah, there's no chance. This is it. This is where I can just calm down, make sure the tempo is getting to a close. But instead, Shake completely amps up the tempo. But here we go.
Have Fate won a single round on
the
terror side yet?
I don't think they
Did
have.
it end
I think
Fate
had
9-6?
9-6 at half time. So yeah, Nemiga Gaming haven't dropped a single one.
That's really rough. They're about to be on the verge of, well, they are on the verge of getting 6 rounds in a row.
Unless you jinx that. No, Lollipop. Short. Ooh, okay, spots up a leg. Box there to assist. Simple stuff. Nikki, all he's got is a colourful deagle and a dream. Seems like the colourful deagle will give him an extra kill. Put that into his tally, but other than that, Nemiga, unstoppable this second half.
With how easily they've managed to chain together 6 rounds, I would be hard-pressed to find a reason for Nemiga not to be able to get 4 subsequently. Once again, Fate, they're looking around on their couches. Maybe there's a couple pennies to be found after this, but this is a very important round because it'll allow Nemiga to have a ramp onto 14. Early utility, Fate, I think they're trying to take these early duels, but Box gets a chance to tuck himself into the corner. He's got the luxury of having Lollipop watching his corner, so he doesn't even have to commit to these duels. Simply goes for these one-off peeks. If it doesn't work, no problem at all. Lollipop will be there to secure him. Pavlos, what do you think,
guys? I mean, if they manage to get a couple of more kills like that, could be doable. But of course, they need to be handed to them, and Nemiga Gaming need to make those mistakes. So it's not completely dependent on Fate here. If Nemiga Gaming just hold their ground and hold the right angles, it should be okay. And especially considering that Fate does have some utility to work with to get those CTs out of their positions and into the open, it could be what they needed. But no, Box puts his dent into Shake there. Rafter himself with a molly at hand will only hope to do some extra damage. They know exactly where he is. They will pre-fly his position. And Nemiga Gaming, they keep things going.
What's the change you'd want from Fate to bring forth? Because I feel like Nemiga are playing it in a much more standard style of play, and what was successful for Fate was being on the CT side, you know, playing it in a very unorthodox fashion, but now that they're on the T, it feels like the tried and tested methods of playing the T side are working better, but look at this! So much damage off of the nades! Brilliance and Lear, they will be scratching their heads! They cannot get much done. Lear still trying to stay alive for his team, trying to buy as much time as he can, but the nade will be the Grim Reaper that tucks him into bed. Very little HP on the Fate squad. Lollipop tucks himself in. First kill, looking for the kill in first oranges. That's connected as well. And it shouldn't be too long until they can find the rest of these as well. Nicky's the only man remaining that can even potentially get something done. But that's 2 headshots. It only leaves Box in a 1 versus 2. Nade connected. Finally gets the AWP shot, and he can switch over to the pistol, but he doesn't know how much HP Patrick has got. Sticking for the full defuse. The B250's missing shots. He can't find it through the smoke. The knives. Oh my goodness, that was... He even gets it with the no-scope at the end, Pavlos.
What on earth was that round? I need to control myself because, ladies and gentlemen, I want this statistic, and if we can have it production, I would be so happy. How much damage overall with nades has been inflicted that entire round on both sides? And also, the pistols, they got 4 kills. And then in the end, Box manages to ninja defuse it with a no-scope in the end with like 1 HP. That round had everything.
Cannot believe that he missed a knife on that. You would expect it to be an easy wrap-up, but Nemiga, they march on forward. Any chances that Fate thought they had, they're starting to dwindle. Couple of rounds away from that victory. And Nemiga, they are solidifying themselves as the top dogs here. I like how the Observer is taking their time to show us the nade damage. Love you, man, whoever it is.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So much. That we can also see the mouse for appreciation. Oh, are you just trying to make hearts? I like that. Oh, that's so cute.
A little nod with the cursor.
Oh, gotta love the production team. Much love, much love. But right now it's equal standing all across the board. Of course, Riflery have been able to be picked up from the Fate side. 1 kill per team. This particular instance, 40 seconds. MDS on contact points. A lot of obfuscation towards the B site, and that could be confusing. 2 kills, one after the other. Somehow, one of them who was through the flames, no clue how that happened, but now we're with 2 against 4. And now, with a bomb being planted, Nemiga Gaming, there's only one choice you can make here, and that is save.
I like how they're willing to take just cut their losses even if they are in a position like this. Even with Box being on $11,000, they're not going to allow it to spiral out of control. They'll let Fate get to those double digits. I mean, it's the only round they've won in the half. So maybe this is a bit of a sigh of relief for Fate, but they can't lean onto a chair or a stick just yet. Obviously, they've got to get a lot more done. Is this some kind of Mexican standoff going on here? A Fate player? I think it's Nick and Lear just nearly in each other's crosshairs. Oh, they both got a shot off. Nick actually got headshotted there.
Yeah, unfortunately that wasn't an AK for the Nemiga Gaming side. Therefore, that is the first round of Fate this half. Finding their way onto double digits, 4 away from their opposition. Still with money in the bag, this is doable. But it's that first kill from Rafter that gave him everything.
Patrick gets the initial shot off, and Fate are relying on some of these individual entries to come through, because if they don't, Nemiga are basically set to end up winning this round. And I was gonna call it the series, but it's a best of 1.
Best of 1 still can be called a series in a way. Series of rounds rather than matches. Rafter though puts Fate into a good spot. Okay, it's the second time in a row Nemiga have to go for a save, and that's something that I hoped we wouldn't be seeing all that much. We didn't see this on the first half, but it seems like it will be the case this time around, where savings on the CT side is a frequent occurrence. Now Nemiga Gaming, obviously, not having too much money to buy up with next round. Importantly so, need to save up with these rifles. Fate will get themselves to 11th, getting ever so closer to that elusive equalizer. And I'm sure Nemiga want to hold on. They'll play this as if they're still holding on, as if this is just the normal hold of the site. MDS make sure that the flank isn't being taken over. Shake, good little peek from him. There is still some time for the pursuit of MDS. Little does he know, one player is just a couple of meters away. He's actually going for the push. He's heard the footsteps. He can run away in time. He saved the AWP.
If you look at Fate's success right now in these past couple of rounds, it's actually reminiscent of how Nemiga, they themselves came back a little bit in the late vestiges of the first half. So, you know, you can't count Fate out just yet. There's a good reason they were able to get through the Bulgarian qualifiers. Maybe they're going to throw just that hybrid, early smoke on top banana to restrict vision, nade stack as well. But it's not going to work out as fruitfully as it did before. Heading straight onto the B bomb site, though, this A1S is showing its supremacy as they start to move in, but Lear gets caught in the back. Patrick makes quick work of another player using his AK. Oh no, Box, can you hit these shots? They're very important. Ooh. He managed to get a headshot off, but in the attempt of avoiding the flames, he will eventually be cornered into an unfavorable duel. Now, Nemiga, they've got pressure.
They do indeed. Lollipop does want to approach little by little. Of course, the molly will block his entryway. Hybrid does close things down. MDS, no way you go for the save here. Well, you have to, really, unless you come out with a miracle two-piece. and then the third will have to be 1v1, but no. Knows his chances are slim, knows he has to walk back. Little doesn't know. Shake is close by, spots him in the end. He ends up dying as well. Fate, they're on a roll.
This is probably the worst time for Nemiga to start feeling starved in terms of money, and where I was talking about Box having 11k and whatnot, that's a pipe dream now. That's in the past. And Nemiga are going to have to show us a stellar performance if they want to stay in this game. No longer is this the case of Nemiga just powering on through. Their march has been stopped. Fate. Playing it very slowly. Only taking control of Banana with pieces of utility that deal damage. Throwing out some nades. Not even committing to a Molotov, in fact. And I love how they're willing to dish out the damage to take control of areas. And that's something you don't often teams see. You don't often see teams do.
Oh, quick switcheroo. You know, we're very used to seeing weapons being switched over. I just still am not used to seeing nades being switched over. That is something that I'll always flinch when I see for the next couple of months still.
Years, yes.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, perhaps. But I think we've been casting Counter-Strike so much that we'll eventually get used to it. Just like we got used to Ancient, and it's been a while since we've seen a new map in the active pool. So
yeah, the thing is, players really haven't been fully exploiting the feature, though. How many teams have you seen consistently taking use of that? I know it's a very interesting gameplay mechanic, but I feel like its full potential is still very undiscovered.
Let's have a look at how this one will turn out, though. I mean, for not this particular round, but this matchup, right? Nemiga Gaming, they've gone quite far, getting to the 14th. Some would say, just a couple of inches away, 2 rounds, but these inches have proven themselves to be miles, really, because Fate, they're making this ever so difficult for them. And with that save, obviously, it was going to be a filler, but that's also some momentum being put into the pockets of Fate and given away on such advantages. Now, they find themselves in a position where they are simply 1 round away from the difference makers. So 4 rounds in a row for Fate, with Nemiga Gaming not gaining an inch for the past 4 rounds. This round is so important for them if they want this best of 1.
Yeah, this could actually be the difference maker. In fact, Fate are almost guaranteed to head over to overtime if they can't, if Nemiga doesn't manage to stop them right now. Fate, they've changed up their avenue of approach, heading through apartments instead of actually taking initiative towards brackets, but it's been sniffed out by Box. He deploys a nade, takes Hybrid down to 50 points of health, takes a scratch in the process himself as well, but that is a fair bit of information being gained. But Fate's, or Nemiga's unwillingness to take control of Banana right now, that could have cost them a fair bit of information. But this Molotov and Flash combo, it signifies to Fate that control, it's been taken once, and they've used up a fair bit of utility that they were supposed to use to eventually win out duels on Banana. But the time is also ticking down, so Nemiga aren't feeling too worried.
Being worried, I don't think is the word in this essence, because Fate right now haven't really found their ground. I think they've made a lot of space here, but Lollipop, if he gets caught out into the open, that's where things could get difficult. Of course, utility can be expended, but he's actually going to get a little bit close. He's not quite sure. Trying to make up his mind. Hybrid does get caught out. That's Lollipop with 2. That is so massive. Nemiga have the chance of a lifetime. Not quite sure if that's what they think of it right now, but it's definitely a chance to get themselves a victory. Box up onto the site, not to show his position just yet. The timing is impeccable. Down to 2.
Nasty.
Oh dear, things have turned on its head. Shake and Nikki on a 2 versus 2 against Brilliance and Lear.
They've managed to get the bomb down. 1 from Arches, 1 coming in from Brackets. Shake is going to have a hard time winning out his end of the... But Nikki, see if he wins out his duel against Lear, because that is changing everything. Waiting for Brilliance's utility. Now they move in, headshot to be connected, and Shake needs to get two very nasty shots in, but he cannot quite land them. Lear eventually manages to get the 15th round on the board for Nemiga, and this is where Fate start to sweat.
Brilliance didn't need to push up there. He was perfectly in a position where the fact that his mere presence caused a lot of pressure onto the final member of Fate. So perfectly played, knowing their limits and knowing that they don't really need to aggress in that instance. But it all started from Lollipop's two-piece, right? That's where they put themselves in a position where they had the numbers advantage. Of course, Box couldn't quite connect the second shot. But with the two players remaining, in the end, Nemiga Gaming managed to convert 15 to 13, 1 round away from that victory. And of course, you can imagine why Fate have gone for a tactical pause.
A good decision from them. Obviously, they need a pause here. Get their head on the game before they head into probably the most pressuring round there is right now, but at least their tournament life is not being threatened just yet. It will be in the next game. You know what? Good on them. Take as many timeouts as you need, because they might just be the last one on this map. This is going to be a very spicy round, Pavlos. You know, having the full utility on both of these squads, I think MDS can still drop over a nade or two. Same case for the terrorist side. Fate are going to be so loaded right now. And I'm really curious to see if Nemiga is going to take initiative with their aggression, because you haven't seen too much. I think Box really likes playing it in more of a flexible manner. You know, heading up apartments, heading down mid, waiting for utility to come through from Banana, all that good jazz. But he hasn't quite gotten the chance to be impactful with aggression. I want to see if that's the case. Okay, goes for a quick peek, backs away.
Potentially could be the final round of this best of one. Nemiga Gaming can hold on. But so far, so good. Box delivers, and now that's pressure from MDS. The fact that he's just there, it means that it's so troublesome. But Hybrid able to convert in that regard. They gain some space towards the apartments area. Now they can push through. Nemiga, how can they hold on from that? Because Box, he got compromised from just way too many angles. And it's just 2 against 3 in this final chapter. Shake and Raftu. 2 players against the world. Nemiga Gaming fully health and fully equipped to take this on. But Raftu, that's a good leading shot to get him started with. He knows exactly where they start to come from. But Nemiga Gaming don't quite know where Shake is also. From the same angle, it's hard to guess that they are from the exact same position. Good spray for the first HG grenade for that chip damage, but it just goes too wide. Oh. Shake! What on earth? He manages to bring it back into a victory, and 14 rounds are now into the Fates' hands.
I love how Shake takes his sweet time, because having one player in pit acts as a decoy, and they won't think that both players are playing off of the exact same position. Love it. Fate now only 1 round away from guaranteeing overtime, but can they do just that? Nemiga, they've exhibited signs of promise, or exhibited signs of brilliance, when they themselves have been pressured, when they've been down to pistols. Can they do that on the CT side, though? That's a big question.
There, that's the perfect angle for an MP9. That's what you need, and Shake does know exactly where he is, but the flash is perfect. He even collects an AK-47, not enough time to retreat. But right now, Nemiga Gaming have got some space to work with, some time before everyone from Fate can move into the B side. Box holds his ground. Scout, not the best weapon for this situation. Brilliant. Again, Repeats needs to consider second position. Brilliant. He holds it down. MDS to connect the final member, and Nemiga Gaming finally scratch away this victory.
That was so well played. They should have gotten that round. That should have been the overtime, but that's just not the case. Just off of one member looking around and... Well, I wouldn't have expected that 90-degree flick at all. Man, he just held down the wire and he just kept on delivering. Wonderful stuff here. Nemiga Gaming show why they're the top dogs, but it simply wasn't too convincing, was it, Pavlos?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't as convincing as anyone expected. But I guess at the end of the day, it's a best of one, and that's all that matters. They managed to get the victory, and they get themselves to the top